On Osrc News at 7, relatives of our church attack expressed gratitude after receiving financial support from Ondo government. Governor Akeredolu renews calls for Amotekun to bear sophisticated arms. Delta begins probe into deaths of 4 newborns due to alleged negligence. And from the foreign scene, Uvalde children resume school, first time since May deadly attack.
Good evening and thank you for joining us on the news tonight. My name is Timile Falade. The families of the deceased and victims of our church terror attack have appreciated Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu and Ondo State government for the support following the unfortunate incident of June 5, 2022. While receiving cash gifts from the state government to cushion the effect of the dastardly act, the people thanked Governor Akeredolu for being sensitive to their plight while fulfilling his promises not to abandon them, especially at this difficult period. The chairman of the state's committee in charge of the relief fund, Mr. Wale Akinteriwa, reassured the people of more support from government. Government House correspondent Wahab Ankole has details.
The agony of the June 5 terror attack in Ondo State is evident as some of the victims are still recovering from the unfortunate incident, while families of those who lost their lives in the church are yet to recover from the reality of the untimely deaths of their loved ones. Barely 3 months after the incident, members of the State's Committee on Relief Fund for the Affected People were at the premises of St. Francis Catholic Church, Owo, to give helping hands.
Members of the public, organizations all over the world were asked to support the state government and bring in money, donate money for the state government to be able to attend to the needs of the victims. That committee is here today.
Chairman of the committee and Ondo State Commissioner for Finance, Wale Akinteriwa, reassured the people of more support from government.
This will not be the first and last. For as long as we're receiving support, money from people both within and abroad, we'll continue to ensure that we reach out to the victims.
The Olowo Oba Ajibade Ogunwoye applauded the state government for being proactive and always promoting the welfare of residents.
Kabiyesi is with us in spirit.
Some of the victims and families of the deceased appreciated Governor Akeredolu for the support and called on corporate bodies as well as well-meaning individuals to complement the efforts of government.
The next thing I will hear when they want to close is wow. So when I want to come out, so when I want to come out, the people shut at the door. So I now came inside. So when I came inside, there was no pushing me. So I now lie down. When I lie down, so I don't know what next. The thing just missed my leg. What I know is that my leg was just strong. I wanted to come out that day, and at the gate, and I fell.
More than 5 people was on top of me. So, but I thank God that the bullet didn't touch me anyway. I thank God for everything, saving our life, even other people who died. Sorry for them.
It's no amount of any gift that will bring back the dead, but we are grateful to the state government for at least remembering that we need aid and we need help.
It's my son. They have bullets. We are doing a major operation for him and also the spinal cord. So, but I thank God for today now.
The Reverend sister called me with the Reverend Father, and my brothers called me the hospital that I should get patients for the event of my son. It is that day that I heard that my son died. What government is doing now, personally, I'm praising God for them and I'm thanking them in a very special way because they are not the cause of the event.
It was at the back where there was meat that it entered. Then doctor told me that I am the luckiest. That had even they don't touch my neck or my head or any bone, that it will damage it. That I'm the luckiest. I should continue praising my God. It's a good gesture. I did not even expect. But they have done well. God will continue to bless them.
Those who benefited from the cash gifts include Agbon Paul, who lost his late brother's wife, Oladele Christiana, and Ozorochukwu Angela, among others. From Owo, Wahab Bankole, Osrc News.
Ondo State House of Assembly has commended the Akeredolu administration for creating enabling environments for investors and industries to thrive, thereby enhancing the economic growth of the state. Chairman House Committee on Commerce and Industries, Mr. Rashid Elegbeleye, during a visit to John Vance Industries Limited, assured all the legislators' continued support towards driving sustainable growth across the state. House of Assembly correspondent Omoshiliola Adesoye Ajayi now completes the story. We apologize. We'll take that report in the course of the bulletin. Although State Governor Arakunrin Oluwarotimi Akeredolu has asked the federal government to allow Amotekun and other state security outfits bear sophisticated arms to enhance the security of the people, Governor Akeredolu at the commissioning of a newly reconstructed office complex of the Ondo State Producing Area Development Commission, or SOPADEC, at Obaile in Akure North local government area, declared the precarious security situation in the country and insisted that he will continue to take the bull by the horn in ensuring the lives of the people are protected. The governor, who disclosed that some arrests have been made in respect to the Ifon kidnapped victims, which occurred over the weekend, informed that the victims who have been released are scared to identify their abductors. The SOPADEC, under the leadership of the chairman, Sam Erejua, also presented 2 patrol vehicles and 3 motorcycles to Ilaje and SO the local government areas to strengthen security architecture in its mandate areas.
Let's collect the impression that a few people, some of whom were my colleagues, some governors, gave to my state Christ said, who is armed. They must really understand that position. And it's unfortunate. My position is very clear. If your foreign facilities needs to be secure, is no more important than the lives of our people. Yes. It's there. So if we can allow government to follow and its people to carry storm, then allow our people to carry storm. It's more than that. You know, you are not other than your oil facilities. So you see, the oil facility, you now believe that, oh, you now permit people to carry some trade arm, you don't want to protect your oil facilities, and you don't want to protect their people to say they cannot carry arms. Tell them they are wrong. And I say so. That is strong.
Dedicate this for your use in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit.
Now back to the story from the House of Assembly. Ondo State House of Assembly has commended the Akeredolu administration for creating an enabling environment for investors and industries to thrive, thereby enhancing the economic growth of the state. Chairman, House Committee on Commerce and Industries, Mr. Rashid Elegbeleye, during a visit to John Vance Industries Limited, assured all the legislators' continued support towards driving sustainable growth across the state. House of Assembly correspondent Omoshilola Adesuya Ajayi completes the story.
The economic importance of cocoa to Nigeria, which accounts for about 40% of the national output, cannot be wished aside. And Ondo State has remained one of the highest producers of the cash crop, which is next to petroleum in the foreign exchange in Nigeria and in West Africa. And as part of efforts to sustain the leading position and to continue to create an enabling environment for investors in Ondo State, members of House Committee on Commerce and Industry paid a working visit to John Vance Industries Limited. Chairman of the committee, Rashid Elegbeleye, who commended the management of the company for choosing Ondo State as one of its operational states in the southwest, said the House will not rest on its oars at providing legislative backing to efforts of the present administrations towards boosting revenue generation in the state.
Because in southwest now, you should know that our man, the governor of Ondo State, was he was champion the security peace, the security movement in this southwest. All the sudden, Nigeria together. That's what my people, and I'm talking about. So I know all these people. That's why I'm here, and I believe it's part of what we continue to enjoy. What we have been teaching, what we already know, part of the reason why we are here. So I believe that that's why I just want to say for those people to do our extra work.
Other members of the committee, while commending the management of the company for creating jobs for youth of Ondo State, charged it to take its community social responsibilities with utmost importance. The lawmakers reassured the people of Ondo State that the private sector will continue to enjoy the support of the legislature in a bid to make the economy of the state prosperous. The lead manager of the company, Caroline Omotosho, said despite the huge importance of cocoa, its production has been facing many problems. She expressed confidence that the meeting will be a game changer in the cocoa value chain.
Ondo State is the best cocoa producing state, which is still the best, but it's just that most of our trees are aging, and the youth are not ready to go into plantation to ensure that these things are being replaced time from time.
Caroline Omotosho therefore called for massive investment in cocoa business, noting that it will help in boosting revenue generation and create job opportunities for youth in the state. Omoshiliola Adesoye Ajayi, Osrc News.
Now to electoral matters. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has disclaimed as untenable report that it has failed to display the voters' register in disobedience of extant laws. INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu will disclaim the report at an event to validate the revised framework and regulations for voting by internally displaced persons, IDPs, in Abuja, assured Nigerians that the Commission will display the comprehensive register in all the 8,809 wards and 774 local government areas nationwide, as envisaged in Section 19, subsection 1 of the Electoral Act 2022. According to the INEC chairman, this will integrate fresh voters registered under the last CVR exercise to the existing register of over 84 million voters. Yakubu added that the date will be announced as soon as the Commission completes the ongoing automated biometric identification system, ABIS, to weed out multiple as well as ineligible registrants. Meanwhile, the Independent National Electoral Commission has begun recruitment of ad hoc staff in the 2023 general elections. In a statement released on its official Facebook page, the electoral umpire urged interested to eligible applicants for registration of all categories of ad hoc staff except the coalition officers. According to the statement, the portal opens on Wednesday, the 14th of September, and ends on the 30th November 2022. Now, the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, has met with the 2023 presidential aspirants of the party in Abuja. In attendance at the meeting include Dele Momodu, Mohammed Ayatuddin, Tari Oliver, and Charles Ugu. Atiku commended them for accepting the outcome of the convention that produced him as a PDP flag bearer and for not raising the dust. He promised to work with all of them ahead of the 2023 general elections, adding that there are various roles to play in his victory at the polls. You're still watching Osrc News at 7. We'll take a quick break now. Do stay with us. Thank you for rejoining us. You can watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook Osrc TV Ondo, and on YouTube you can subscribe to our channel Osrc TV Ondo. The Ondo State Head of Service, Mr. Kayode Ogundele, has pledged support for the Ondo Service Improvement Program, OSIP, for effective service delivery in the state. The Head of Service made the promise at the 10th interactive session with officers of the Ondo Service Improvement Program, OSIP, also known as Change Ambassadors, in Akure, the Ondo State capital. Joy Pius has details.
Though the 10th meeting, it is the first interactive session that the 15th Head of Service, Mr. Kayode Ogundele, will be having with officers of the Ondo State Improvement Program, OSIP, also known as Change Ambassadors under the Department of Public Service Reform and Development. Mr. Kayode Ogundele, who promised to continue to drive the reform process in the state, urged officers to key into the reform agenda.
To whom much is given, much is also expected. It's only appropriate that we continue to do our best so that the change we require can first be seen in us. We are bound together by this mission of changing our workplace, changing the people that we relate with in those workplaces, and in achieving this, by the grace of God, we'll be able to make Ondo State a better place.
Delivering a lecture, Special Advisor to Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu on security matters and Commander of Amotekun Security Network, Adetunji Adeleye, who took members on insecurity, environmental consciousness, challenges and solutions, emphasized the need for the officers to be security conscious.
What exactly is your plan? What is your management plan for yourself? There are lots of policies as change ambassadors that you need to implement that can make a major difference in your assessment.
Another keynote speaker, a permanent secretary and Director General Public Service Training Institute, Mr. Jide Ekpobomine, focused on determinants of job performance and job satisfaction for effective service delivery and advised participants to ensure they bring value addition to better society.
You are a driver. Your presence should be able to point people on the direction they should go, for them to know what they should do at a particular point in time. If anyone has problem, join the person in solving that problem. Offer help. What can I do to help you so that we solve this problem? What can I do to help you so that the project is performed?
Administrative Secretary Reforms Office Adewale Omomewu, who noted the importance of interactive meetings, admonished the reform officers to ensure they implement all they have been taught at their various offices.
This quarterly meeting with the head of service has been a forum for us to interact with the head of service, explain all reform activities as reformers and reform coordinators, and even provide solutions to all our challenges. As reformers, it is our duty to continue to strive to do this better and ensure a well-functioning government in all sectors and at all levels.
For participants, the educative session is expected to chart a new course for them at their different ministries, departments, and agencies. The meeting is expected to be held quarterly. Joy Pius, OSRC News.
Commercial activities were paralyzed in some parts of Akure, the state capital, today as the community celebrated its annual Amole Festival in conformity with the state government's directive that traditional rulers must seek approval for closure of markets in the domain. 4 markets were closed to commercial activities. OSRC's visits showed that skeletal services were offered in the areas not affected by the closure order. Omoriola Humbeji has details.
For the past 500 years, residents of Akure, the state capital, have been celebrating a festival called Amole to pray for peace and the protection of residents. Markets and shops were closed on the order of the Deji, who is the traditional ruler of Akure, to enable residents offer prayers. However, with the status of Akure as the state capital and the looting spree that followed the Ahirigbe festival celebrated last month, the state government put in place measures to avert a repeat. The State Executive Council at its last meeting directed traditional rulers across the state to take approval for closure of any market ahead of such festivals. To this end, Deji of Akure, Obalade Toyinbo Aladelusi, got the approval to close some traditional markets, which include Ojaoba, Erekeson, May Market, Odokwetu, Umesi, and Ijemikin markets, exempting shops and stores from the closure. OSRC's visits to the affected marketplaces showed that they were under lock and key. Some shops and stores expected to be left opened for businesses, however, were closed, apparently for the fear of being attacked. Sele of Akure, Chief Fagite Taiwo, who spoke with OSRC, said the tradition has been in existence for over 500 years, where the monarch, Deji of Akure, prays for the peace of the town. He called on residents to respect the tradition for their own benefit.
We do is pray for peace, pray for the development of Akure, pray that we don't have sudden death of our sons and daughters, and pray that the king too lives long on the throne. So what we do on Amole Day is predominantly to pray to our ancestors and to Almighty God for peace, for tranquility, for development, and for our king to live long on the throne. People should go about their normal businesses, and that we should all be praying for development, for tranquility in the land.
OSRC camera lens also did not capture adherents of the festival carrying out their usual duties. As at the time of filing this report, there was no report of looting, as security operatives also patrolled major streets to forestall any breach. Omoriola Humbeji, OSRC News.
Ondo State Police Command has arrested a father, Mr. Falowo, and his son, Laolu Falowo, for alleged possession of human parts in Kuseri Village, Odigbo local government area of the state. Spokesperson for the command, Fumilayo Odunlami, while parading the suspects alongside 8 others for various offenses at the command headquarters in Akure, said the septuagenarian and his 26-year-old son were found in possession of human limbs and a human skull. Osrc's Saheed Aribisala reports that the suspected pedophile who lured and defiled 2 children was also paraded.
10 suspects up for parade at the headquarters of Ondo State Police Command in Akure, 4 of them for murder, 2 for arson, 2 for kidnapping, 1 for defilement, and 1 for attempted rape and robbery. On the 31st August 2022, report of an offensive odor oozing from the room of one Olaolu Falowo in Kuseru village, Odigbo local government area of Ondo State, was lodged at the Kajola Police Division, as at the time of the report, the suspect was in police custody for a case of attempted car theft, but when a search was conducted in his house, human limbs were recovered while a human skull in a sack was recovered from his father's house. The suspect claimed the disease was a madman who was sick and about dying in the forest, so he killed him to reduce his pains and took part of his body to use for sacrifice. Also in police net is the duo of 41-year-old Mayowa Iletua and 32-year-old Akinwumi Ebifemi, who were part of a gang that attacked a landowner, Mr. Ogunshemore, on the 30th of November 2021. The landowner's son, Isao Ogumore, was shot.
They shot at him and they carried him. Up to this moment, nobody can say exactly if he is dead or he's still alive. But investigation is ongoing so that we can unravel what actually happened.
Also, 38-year-old Benga Ogumshemore and 33-year-old Rire Ayomide were later arrested in connection with the case by policemen attached to Force Criminal Investigation Department, Alagbon, Lagos State. 2 suspected arsonists and killers of 1 security guard, Dundon Sunday, at a filling station along Iguba Road were also arrested.
To work for that place, and as I work for that place, I can't hold that woman money. As I hold her money, you can't use police arrest me. Later on, as he arrest me, you can't let my wife. You use my pikin, you carry and go, and also my pikin with my 1 month salary. Now making me do that counting.
1 Arijedari was also arrested in Okitipupa for allegedly defiling 2 children after luring them to an uncompleted building. 3 days after, one of the girls complained of pains, and upon the mother's inquiry, the girl explained her ordeal and mentioned the suspect as a culprit.
A 17-year-old boy who defiled 2 4-year-old girls. I think this is for parents especially. These are perilous times. Don't leave your children anyhow. He claimed he wanted to buy water from the compound, and when he saw the 2 girls playing, he took them to an uncompleted building close to the house and he defiled the children.
Ondo State Police Public Relations Officer Fumilayo Odulami, who assured residents of the force commitment to ridding the state of criminals, said the suspects will soon have their days in court. Items recovered include 1 single barrel gun, sum of 69,000 naira, and 1 phone. Sahir Aribisala, Osrc News.
The Delta State government says it has begun investigating the death of 4 newborn babies that died due to alleged negligence on the part of a doctor on duty at the Sapele Central Hospital in the Sapele local government area of the state. The Commissioner for Information, Charles Anyagu, during the press conference insisted that the incident must be investigated before a logical conclusion is made. Reports have it that the doctor on duty was allegedly drunk and the hospital was without power supply at the same time. The State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Modi Onoye, said the allegation of drunkenness is a serious one. She added that if found guilty, the officer involved will be made to face the full wrath of the law. Now to the foreign scene, 5 police officers are to be investigated for the response to a school shooting in Uvalde, Texas in May that left 19 students and 2 teachers dead. The announcement comes as students returned to school amid heavy security. Before we go tonight, let's take another look at the major stories. Families of our Catholic Church attack have thanked Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu after receiving financial succor from Ondo State government. Governor Akeredolu has renewed his calls for Amotekun Corps to carry sophisticated weapons to enhance the security of the people. We told you that Delta State government has commenced investigation into the deaths of 4 newborn babies due to alleged negligence. And from the foreign scene, you heard that children of Uvalde School in the United States have resumed their youth studies first time since the May attack, which claimed 21 lives. That's the news. Thank you for watching. Good night.